check, make sure everything is good. Should be.
Remember when people thought he was Phone Guy?
Thank you, Matt Pat.
Listen,
Matt Pat's fault.
we are not here to talk about animatronic furries.
He's not an animatronic. He was a person in a suit.
It's not his fault. He's like an unwilling furry.
I mean, to be fair, he did.
He was
climb
a
in
furry
the suit
without
of his own
consent.
volition. Well, no, he did climb in the suit of his own volition. He just got stuck in it against his will because he's stupid.
He's stuck to be a
So,
furry
in other words,
against
the
his
furry
will.
thing was like all part of the plan. It's just the other stuff was not. Is that what you're telling
I
me?
assume he was going to take it off once the dead children went away, but that was the punishment for him being a horrible person and killing children, is that he was stuck as a furry forever. That's his
I like how
No!
whoever's watching this.
I don't want to be cringe forever. No.
Whoever's watching this is just gonna be like, Andrew. Oh, cool! They're gonna cover Andrew Tate. I wonder what they have to say for it. Hey guys,
They're making
you want to
jokes
talk about the
about
Five
Five
Nights
Nights
at
at
Freddy lore?
Five Nights at Freddy's, the place I wanna be. I'm Jack Black. I should be the next Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I'm Bowser.
He should.
Yes.
I need him to be in a.
Unironically, though,
He should be Phone Guy. I want him to be
Yes!
Phone Guy. It'd be so good. Yes.
Wait. Would he be Phone Guy? Because I feel like we have to have Scott as Phone Guy.
hello, hello.
Yeah, but it'd be so bizarre if it's Jack Black. It would just blow everyone's minds. It'd be so funny.
Now I'm just imagining if it's both Scott and Jack Black, just and they alternate so that every other line is Jack. So it's just Scott, Jack, Scott, Jack. It's so badly recorded.
Who is Phone Guy? The next theory.
Oh my goodness, bro, dude, stop talking about this stupid game, bro.
Games, you racist.
It's been so long since last I've seen my son to this monster. The man behind the slaughter.
So dumb.
No, it's
I don't
epic.
don't get how so many people could just be like, wow, Five Nights at Freddy's, you guys. You're like the stupid soy jacks pointing at something on the wall.
Because listen, the
so
series
good.
is really weird. The series is really weird, but it's really interesting.
I just have
It's
a
really
pic-
fascinating how weird it
I
is.
just have a picture
Yeah.
of Andrew Tate reloading a gun. There you go. That's
Also,
it.
I just think the idea is really creepy. If you
Yeah,
like,
it is really
execute
interesting.
perfectly.
I kind of am kind of bummed out because
where
they,
does MCU man allow like promotional stuff, and if so,
as far
where?
as I know, Alex. is
Yes,
fine with it.
yes.
Okay.
I do it all the time.
Promo.
No,
I
do it in
will
general.
say,
Do it in general.
one thing I feel like the series is missing nowadays is the super like creepy, subtle storytelling they had in the first 3 games. They've just gone really super straightforward with it, and I kind of don't like it.
Yeah, it's
But
kinda
I get why, because it's like we can't just keep doing this forever and ever because it's just gonna get really boring.
Well, the VHS series kind of like proves that the idea of Five Nights at Freddy's would actually be really fucking terrifying. But
Liam. Liam. Christian podcast.
wait,
We're
I
live.
lost my train of thought. God,
We're live.
don't interrupt me, Nightbreed.
Yeah,
We're
live.
FNAF
boys.
VHS series. FNAF VHS.
Yes,
series.
Crown 1. These two spurred
Yeah.
losers are talking
It's
about
it's really
about
good.
Five Nights at Freddy's, while I'm talking about I'm trying to talk about the Top G. Y'all over here being like, "Wow, look at this design! This is designed for a furry."
Listen. The series.
I would
is cool.
actually
Listen,
love.
guys,
I would love
viewers,
to see that. I
viewers.
would love to see. I would love to see Andrew Tate as like an animatronic. It's just like an animatronic of Andrew Tate, and then there's like a
Yes.
button, and if you push it, it's just his theme start. His theme song.
No. You know the theme
Oh my
where
goodness.
where is I don't know which one shows up. I'm not stupid. I don't play the game. The one where at the end of it there's like that jingle that plays, and all of a sudden Freddy shows up. It's just that.
Oh, that's
just,
the first game if you run out of power.
Yeah, it's just run out of power. You just.
Yes, it's Andrew Tate's face, and instead of Terrador March, it's just. I need to learn. You know what? I'm gonna go to UCA and learn games design just so I can make a mod to make that happen.
Please. Okay, listen. That's the only thing that would make Five Nights at Freddy's redeemable, is if Andrew Tate. It's just Five Nights at Tate's. You're just inside of his mansion.
Listen,
You're
guys,
checking the cameras. You can see his Bugatti.
Nightbreed, I understand your apprehension. The fan base is weird. If you ignore all the porn, the series is really cool. The games, at least.
The
Don't read
porn
the books. The book was gay.
wasn't where I drew the line. The line was much like farther away from that, right? I didn't even get to the point to be disgusted. That's what I'm saying.
Five Nights at Freddy's. For cringe kids wanna be.
So cringe. We'll get to the subject eventually, guys. Don't worry. We don't plan on talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. Though here on the Lonely Boys podcast,
We're so lonely.
We're so lonely. This is all we have to talk about is Five Nights at Freddy's.
I'm gonna do a gotcha. You're lonely. That's not generic at all. Overweight.
You see, I thought about this long and hard. The reason why Nightbreed does the things he does is because he's lonely. Now, I'm not going to ever consider that what I just said was the single stupidest thing that I've ever said.
Yes.
Hey, Liam, did you know, apparently in FNAF 3, if you turn Fast Nights on, the Night 1 phone call gets cut off because it's so long that it outlasts the night.
Haha, that's pretty cool. I hope the DLC's good. I hope it's scary for Security Breach.
Same.
I hope Markiplier plays it too.
He will.
Man,
you know he will.
Nobody cares.
Everyone cares about
Nobody
Markiplier.
cares.
Oh yeah,
Markiplier
Scott.
better be in the FNAF movie, by the way.
Yes, the phone guy in the third game, Scott one time Scott posted on Steam like, yeah, he's just voiced by a random guy I found on the street.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine like Markiplier's in the movie, but in this meta universe, the game exists in the movie?
Oh no, that's canon in the FNAF universe. The games exist.
Interesting.
Oh my god, you can have that. You could have a scene where it's canon in the movie. It's canon in the movie that the games exist, and you just cut to a scene of Markiplier playing the games.
Yes. They can literally do that in the game canon. The games actually do exist.
Markiplier's just a reactionary YouTuber who made it popular.
Yes.
Yes. Please, that'd be so good. Markiplier is just in two different universes, making FNAF
fun fact, in the bit where they
Markiplier, they should make Markiplier Springtrap. Like, that's the greatest plot twist of all, is that this is just one giant elaborate plan by Springtrap.
Personally, I don't think I would be okay with them.
Was that the bite of 87?
I don't know.
Was that the bite of 87?
I don't know if I would be okay with them making Markiplier a sadistic child murderer.
No, I would be, because it would be funny.
Yeah, it'd be kind of funny.
Yes, it was me, Markiplier, the whole time.
He just talks like that. I'm going to get you, children.
No, what are you doing? What are you doing? Alright, now we just stop talking about stupid things, alright, and actually do a proper intro. We've been talking for 8 minutes about things I don't care about.
Nervous.
Nerd and nerd. Nerd.
Andrew Tate would unironically get 5 seconds of this podcast, but like, I don't understand what they're talking about. He just calls up his assistant. It's like, what is FNAF?
Well, I mean,
I'm not a little beta.
I mean,
I don't play video games.
It's canon that Andrew Tate hates happy children, so he would love William Afton.
So you're saying that he actually would work as William Afton? I hate happiness. I hate happy children.
He takes off the Springtrap mask. It's just Andrew Tate. Just the theme just starts playing.
Yeah. I love how it's just this random indie love French song that I heard like back in high school during French class that suddenly became popular because one time it played in some sort of Andrew Tate related thing, and now it's forever the Andrew Tate
How's it
thing.
going, Skids? How's it going?
How's it going, Skids? Alright, so,
hello. I forgot we were streaming. I should probably open up to read the comments.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Lonely Boys podcast. A podcast full of lonely boys. Even if there are girls eventually on the podcast, they will also be lonely boys. Yes.
No.
This is a boys-only club.
It's not about that, but yeah.
Oh,
It's not about that. It's about drive. It's about power.
You want to elaborate? There might
It's
be
about
some
drive,
people
it's
that'll
about
like.
power. We stay hungry.
Hey,
we eat power.
I've heard there's a couple of your enemies out there that are straight up like trying to figure out your like political leaning. So this might be evidence towards whatever opinion that
Well,
they're
it's
formulating.
really unclear. It's really.
I mean, this
in the gray
podcast
area of
alone
mystery.
proves that I am a lonely boy. I'm just I'm so lonely. That's why I do the things I do. Ignore whatever other context there may be. He's lonely, guys.
the Joker.
He's
The
lonely.
Joker theme just starts playing.
Da, da, da. I need to rewatch that. We just start singing random themes.
Na na na.
Just in the middle of it. All right. Speaking of which, we have some things we're going to react to today. We had a lot of fun reacting to Andrew Tate. To clarify, all right, we do not 100% agree with everything Andrew Tate says. He is sometimes right, which I find frustrating because it kind of affects, like, when he says something insane, people think everything he says might be insane, so they just kind of ignore some of the better points that he makes sometimes. And
Andrew Tate hates women.
and some of his
he
good
eats the souls
points,
of children.
his good points, like he was talking about degeneracy and stuff like that. It's like, Andrew Tate, you literally have like a webcam studio, like you are perpetuating the system you're criticizing. Like I agree with everything you're criticizing, but you literally own a webcam studio. You do it too. Gotta chase that bag, but. This regardless, you know, we obviously have our disagreements. Overall, we just find him an entertaining orator. We believe in his right to free speech, and we think he's an insane person on the level of Alex Jones. It's the same reason we find Alex Jones funny and entertaining, is because both of them are insane. That is the extent of it. We are not hardcore Andrew Tate supporters. We are not alt-writers, which, by the way, I don't think necessarily fall into the same category as Andrew Tate supporters. I'm sure they're not going to like the fact that he is half black. If they were alt-writers, regardless, we're gonna watch a couple of Andrew Tate related videos and whatever. There's not gonna be really any point to this new podcast. I'm not gonna limit myself to just we gotta talk about the newest MCU product. Let's go spend money on Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. You want to go do that? It's like, no, I don't.
Guys, did you know they have Batman, Superman Buster Armor merchandise in Shazam? Let's talk about that.
Oh, God. It's like, I don't want to talk about comic book movies. Sure, we might talk about it every now and then, but that's the thing. I just talk about whatever. It's just a casual thing. We just kind of just watch a couple of videos from different kind of topics. I had fun when I did it with like some of the other streams that we did, and now that's just gonna actually make a weekly little podcast out of it. I was gonna do it yesterday, but I was busy because I thought like International Men's Day would have been the perfect day to just start bam, just start a podcast right there about men, about like Andrew Tate and Top G.
I'm actually happy you didn't do it yesterday because I was busy yesterday.
Man, nobody cares about you.
You are so lucky we are running a Christian podcast because I can't say what I was gonna say.
We are running a Christian podcast. A lonely Christian podcast.
Yeah, he's a borderline Christian.
I feel like most people aren't going to understand these references yet. They will be explained, or you've probably already had them explained to you by someone. Whatever. We are going to start with "Never Buy a House." By
oh my God.
An interview this is a chunk of an interview that I've seen in like half of. I never got to this part though, where he talks about not buying a house or whatever. Some of his arguments were interesting. I didn't watch the video all the way through because I was like, this could be interesting. How do you rate the FNAF franchise? I've never played any of the games.
That is interesting.
I don't know.
That's a great question.
I don't know. I don't want
to answer. Let's continue.
All right, give your quick answer. Don't make it like longer than it needs to be. Don't go on 20-minute tirade. Well, you know, if you think of some of the complex issues with certain games, it's kind of hard to come down. It's like, no, just say what you want to say about the FNAF like very quickly. We'll be like One Punch Man.
A franchise at all, because FNAF is like games, books, and something else, I think. So I don't really know how you'd rate that as a whole.
Security Breach is the lowest, and I really like 2, 3, and Help Wanted.
Yeah, those are really dope.
I don't care.
I feel like if we're just going by the
like one.
games, yeah. I feel like if we're going by the games, then the franchise is like pretty good. It's not as good as it used to be, but that's only natural.
I mean, it's pretty bad, like the latest game.
Which one's the latest game?
Security Breach.
Security Breach. Security Breach is not scary. It has bad gameplay, boring level design. It's just not a good game.
It feels really unfinished, honestly.
Because it basically was.
Yeah, it is. So if you play, if you go back in updates long enough, if you played the game when it came out, there's a theater you can go into, and it'll be like, here's the styling, the comedy stylings of Staffbot, and then nothing happens. They had to add in Staffbot jokes. That's how unfinished the game was. They had to add the dialogue in.
Very interesting.
Very terrible. All right, back to
Andrew Tate, the top G. We ain't talking about no FNAF.
Commentate W, not talking about that.
I mean, it is. All right. Let's start. Never buy a house. Let's go.
Do you actually like property? I'm confused here because I've seen a lot of content where you talk about not owning your own home, but you talk about having property. So, do you like property or not? I've also seen you talk about seizure of property rights.
Yeah.
So, do you like property or not?
Well, firstly, the reason I say rent your own home is because it allows you to be flexible. I think that the most adaptable of the species survive, and rent is very flexible. It's flexible because, one, you can move easily. Maybe you get a job opportunity in Japan, you have to bounce. Or maybe your country is about to lock down because it's becoming cold, you don't want to be stuck in your house.
Now, I know we're only like 40 seconds into this, but this is actually like the exact opposite of what I've been told like my whole life. It's like, you want to buy a house, you don't want to rent one. That's why I've been told like my whole life. Rent's terrible, you don't want to rent. But I find it interesting that he has this take, that renting is the superior option.
I mean, it should be fine for him because he has like tons of money and all that, but for most people, that just seems really dumb and impractical.
Yeah.
Just keep moving to new places to rent.
I mean,
and extremely risky for no reason.
I don't think that's what he means. I think it's like, if you want to do that, you can. It's easier to do that. I think that's what he meant.
If you have the money for it. Most people usually don't. They
Yeah,
don't have the money
sure.
to move anyways.
So you think this is like only a thing that like someone like Andrew Tate, the top G, could do?
If you're like rich or you have like tons of money, then I can understand this as an idea maybe. It's still kind of weird, but whatever. But for most people, like, no, it sounds dumb.
I don't know.
Like I've seen like how much it is to rent a house. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've looked
Like,
into
it's
rent
utterly
prices.
ridiculous.
I've looked into rent prices around here, and some of them are just like, it's like $1,000 a month and stuff like that. It's like, nah.
Yeah, it's like at that point I could just save up and buy a house. Like, why would I ever do that?
I guess it just depends on what you're renting. I guess it just really depends. You have to be really picky about that kind of thing. But rent around here, at least, isn't particularly great. Of course, then again,
rent sucks usually.
The housing market in general has kind of gotten bad. You know, for obvious reasons, for that guy that definitely totally won the 2020 presidential election. But we won't get into that too deep. It's just, in general, housing prices are just kind of crazy. And I don't know. As far as renting and stuff goes, it's kind of hard to tell which one would be the better option, for me at least. Definitely don't...
I gotta bounce to a different country. It's like... That's kind of revealing, too, because hasn't, like, Andrew Tate been, like...
That is what he does.
Accused of, like, criminal stuff, and then he moves to another country?
I don't know if that's exactly how it played out, but I think you're referring to, like, some of the scandals that Turkey Tom covered in his video. Which, is a good video, by the way. One of the best.
I mean, that's a good reason to
Tate.
rent a house, because you know you might get exposed constantly, so you have to keep moving.
Apparently, he has some ties to certain mafias, and he himself has not outright denied his ties. So that's interesting. In fact, he's implied that he's like had something to do with that a time or two. So yeah, take that as you will.
Rent. Flexible.
Or you can move out and rent it out.
Completely own it, right?
Yeah.
Go into that, but then you have to find a tenant.
That's easy.
Well, perhaps that is
I've got
easy.
1,250 of.
Okay, perfect. Then let me change it. Then perhaps you don't want to have anything to do with that country anymore, and you have to sell it, and that's not quick, right? Another flexibility you have with rent is not paying it.
I've got tenants who don't do that.
You know better than me the law in the West.
Well, yeah.
You don't have to pay it for 6 months.
Pro tenant, yeah.
So you can just not pay it.
Yeah.
So maybe you're in a situation.
Okay, that's interesting. What do you think about that, Liam?
That's weird. I don't know what he means by that. Don't you have to like pay up front to get the house anyway? So if you're gonna move out, you're still gonna keep paying up front.
We're still talking about rent, right?
Yeah, you still have to pay before the 6 months starts of not needing to pay or something.
It's kind of interesting that his argument is just like, well, it's affordable because you don't even have to pay for it. It's sort of interesting as an argument. I guess
yeah,
you can fudge the system just a little bit doing stuff like that.
Even if that was practical, it sounds really like unethical as hell. It's just
it at least gets right there on the border of unethical.
Borderline unethical. Yeah, it's like, so like even if he could theoretically just do that, it's like, okay, you have 6 months to entertain, he just keeps going to other houses and he doesn't pay them anything. It's like, wow, that's awful. It's messing up people's business.
Yeah, I get that.
Especially for a guy like Andrew Tate that can just own a house. That's actually really annoying.
I don't know if he would do
really
something like that
anyone.
now, but it seems like he at least would have at some point.
What are your guys' thoughts on the new Saints Row game? Haven't played it.
Oh, on the new one?
I don't know. anything
Given
about
that it's
Saints Row,
literally
but it looks kinda bad.
okay. So the way I think about, I'm not a fan of the games, but based on what I know of the games, I've never played them myself. The way GTA is kind of like a exaggerated, almost parody of real life
From what
crime.
I know, Saints Row is a parody of GTA, which
Yes.
is a parody.
Yeah, so it's a parody of a parody, and their solution to the game is going to be like to make it for a modern audience that's not as offended by things like that. I find that really dumb, given that the entire point of the game is that it's supposed to be an over-the-top version of a game that's already over the top. So to make it like really lame like that, I think is lame.
I'm gonna be honest about Saints Row. I've played the third one and I finished it when I was really young. And then I played the second one. And then the second one was like, no, sorry, the fourth one. My bad, not the second one. I played the third one, then the fourth one, and the fourth one was really boring. I got really bored. I don't know what it is.
From what I can tell, it looks like it's going to be pretty bad. Yeah, Skids just says from what I can tell, the new one's a dumpster fire. It doesn't look very good. I'm not interested in characters that belong in Watch Dog being in a setting that's, Saints Row, and they've also like cut back on a lot of the jokes. When it's like, okay, so what's the point? It's like, we're gonna make South Park less offensive. It's like, but that's what South Park is. That's like the whole point of South Park is that it's offensive. Why would you do that? It's like with GTA, we're gonna cut out all of the racist and sexist jokes. It's like, but then it's not GTA anymore. The whole point of GTA is that it's supposed to be offensive to like pretty much everybody. It's making fun of people. You're gonna be offensive.
You know who should be the next GTA?
Andrew Tate.
Yes. He's literally a GTA character.
He literally is. Like this
is.
guy would like, you could just see him like even in this pose right here, just on the loading screen of GTA 5 as you wait for GTA Online to boot up.
I can totally see that, honestly.
Yeah, I want to see someone edit that. I'm gonna look up and see if that happened. You know what? I'm looking that up right now.
Just GTA 5. I mean, we already have like the GTA mod where people are like dressing up as Andrew Tate and driving around in Bugattis and assaulting people as the Andrew Tate theme song plays. That's like already really funny.
GTA 5, Andrew Tate. Loading. I'm looking it up right now to see if anyone has ever done that.
What if Tate's speech was like?
Oh my god! So I think someone has done that. Yes.
What if Tate's speech? What if Tate's speech was like on the radio in GTA? You're just listening to his podcast.
1 minute and 7 seconds. Okay, we have to watch this. I don't care. Play it. Get ready, boys.
Thank you for derailing my 4-time kickboxing world champion.
Top G.
God highly about that, bro.
That is amazing.
Oh my god, Tim. He's a fucking GTA character.
Mr. Producer.
Oh.
I hope my stream doesn't get claimed because of that stupid song. That would be really annoying if that happened. Alright, let's go back to this. After we've derailed the whole thing.
All the time.
GTA number 2, Chad GTA 5 character. Oh, 6. Chad GTA 6 character. Yes.
I'm not even kidding. I think that actually would be a really good pitch for GTA 6. Is that Andrew Tate is involved?
No, it's just...
Obviously it can't be
There's
actual
so-
Andrew Tate, but
Yeah, if Andrew Tate was like the main character, I would reconsider my stance on like video games. I'm just kidding. No, I wouldn't. I would still not play.
you would still be fucking cringe. Yes.
I would only play Grand
You'd be
Theft
cringe
Auto
just
as
like
Andrew
the
Tate.
slip up I just had there. Kill me.
Someone almost did.
Oh, 4. Oh, I read that wrong. I'm stupid.
What
That was
else
a-
for? What?
Sorry, I just had to take that quick shot. Let's keep going with this video.
Not paying it. You know,
I've got tenants who don't do that.
you know better than me the law in the West.
Well, yeah,
you
it's
don't have to pay it for 6 months.
Pro tenants.
This
yeah.
dude's
Just
pants.
not pay it.
Yeah.
So maybe you're in a situation where
But you can also vend
His
it
pants look like
vet
something a
tenant
GTA
properly and
character
then-
would wear.
correct.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, we're talking about flexibility.
This
Darwin
looks
said
like
the most
something that would be
adaptable-
on like the TV in like a GTA game. Like
Yeah.
just this video.
Yes. it
Like you're
does.
just in Lamar and Michael's house, and this is just what's on TV.
You mean Franklin and Michael's house?
Lamar. I said Lamar, didn't I?
Yes, you said Lamar.
Just go to like Franklin's house or whatever.
Oh my god, this proves that Nightbreed thinks all black people look alike.
Oh yeah,
Will the
true.
species survives. This remains
Or
true.
no, excuse me. This proves that Nightbreed borderline thinks that all black people look alike.
You own a home, you are obliged to do X things. You can't not pay the mortgage, you lose the home. If you own the
Andrew
home, you
Tate
can
is
keep it.
borderline
I'm
the
saying
top
if you rent
G.
a house, you can move. if you get an
Borderline the
opportunity.
top G.
You can move if the government becomes tyrannical, or if crime gets out of control, or something happens in your area which you're never going to know.
Yeah, but we don't.
But you have the right to bear arms in America. Like,
I don't.
wouldn't you want to fight back against a
Okay,
tyrannical
well, given that
government instead of
they're
run
trying
away?
given that they're trying to like take that away, but regardless, I don't know
But
if
they
that,
haven't yet.
I don't know if people like me and you would have the same luxury as Tate to do like the things he's describing. It's like
I
I,
know,
can
this
just
is just
leave the
weird.
country. It's like, well, I can't just leave the country like you can, man. I don't know if that applies to
What
someone
about-
like me.
What about family or whatever? You're just gonna get them all to move too?
I guess.
Yes.
Goodbye, my family and friends. I gotta
serious
move. I'm a
option.
top G now.
The top G's on the move.
Not paying it. And I
Top
want
G's
people-
on the
I don't want people to
move.
misunderstand me here. I'm not saying don't pay your rent. I'm saying if you have some
Look, this is what Tate thinks of
Well, you
mortgages.
kind of implied it in the beginning.
I mean, yeah, he kind of implied that you shouldn't pay rent because you got some leeway.
information, let's say. The bull run that just happened, all that crap's over. But people were making money from the thin air for crypto. Let's say you had some reliable information from people you trusted. Let's say those
Yeah, people making money anymore from crypto. I don't know if you heard about that.
been right 100% of the time.
I have no
They
idea
said
about
if you
that.
bought a particular coin,
Say the
it was
crypto
1,000
market
X.
crashed
You could have
and
misread
burned.
You could have paid it later. That's flexibility, right?
Collectively, people that were participating in a particular crypto system, participating in a particular crypto system headed by this dude named Bankman, lost like $11 billion collectively. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Flexibility is also super important. So I always say the average person should rent where they live. I know that's strange because not everyone can rent. Someone has to own it. The people who own houses need to own them the way you own. If you own 1,250, you're doing very well. The way I own a house, it's not a mortgage. It's just give me this, beep, put on the card, bang, done. Done. I don't live there. There's no work for me. If I had to sell it, I'd never need to sell it quick. I never need the money fast. It's something. It's just an asset. But that's why I say most people should rent until they're wealthy enough to buy it in cash. If you can't buy a house outright in cash, you shouldn't buy it. And even then, if you buy it, you need to be very careful. You need to make sure that that government is never going to turn on you. That area is never going to become downtrodden. And also understand that owning a house isn't free. There's property taxes, there's maintenance, there's upkeep. A lot of the time, by the time you pay all that shit, it's not far off rent.
Well,
Okay. Like, I don't really disagree with what he said there. Not really. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would you not turn the bank system on themselves and get a mortgage on the property and leverage the bank's money and then have better opportunity cost of capital rather than buying houses for cash?
Absolutely, sure, that is a way you could do things. But now you're indebted to a bank. And it's fine if you have money from the sky, you can make money anywhere, that's fine, right? But if you are working a job, let's say in central London, and you owe money to this bank now because you've done it this way, that bank has a degree of control over you. You can't just quit your job. You can't just move. Things become very complicated. It just destroys your flexibility. To answer your question earlier, I don't own any property. I don't own anything. I own this suit.
Except for women, am I right, guys? Top G.
I only own this suit. What about your machete?
Some friends of some trust.
Yeah, all of
about
his
his
machetes
Bugatti?
are rented as well.
What about his
He just
Bugatti?
rents everything.
I mean, he owns Bugattis, right? I'm only going to refer to them the way he refers to them, by the way. But yeah, he
Yeah.
owns the Bugattis that he has.
Some companies which are registered from Singapore.
I mean, the real question is, what color is yours?
So you have
I have the keys too, but I don't own anything.
So you have some assets under your control that are property, but you don't own them.
I don't have the Matrix hates me. I don't have any.
The Matrix
But I have some keys
hates
to some
me.
houses. But, and yeah, of course, they appreciate. Of course, you can rent them. I completely get it. But the truth is this: property, like many other things, is very successful for some, but for most, I think it wrecks them. It's player versus player, like I said, in everything. Doesn't matter if it's a cryptocurrency, which you buy at $1 and sell at $10. If you sold at $10, someone bought at $10. Someone gets wrecked. It's the same with property. You've done fantastically well from it. Congratulations. My property has never lost me a penny. Sorry, if I owned property, it would have never lost me a penny. Congratulations to me. But there's a whole bunch of people who get up, finish university, get a mortgage they can barely afford, work their ass off, pay huge interest rates, sitting there paying, and either a financial crisis comes and wrecks them, or they lose the home in the end because they couldn't keep up with the payments, or they finally get it paid off and they're so old that their life's fucking shitty. So property is not the be-all and end-all to anything. And in fact, I would recommend to most people, and if you look at most people's finances out here in the street, if you were to take 1,000 people who are watching this right now and look at their finances, 950 of them would be stupid to buy a house. There's 50, it's a good idea. But for the majority, it's not.
Could you say that about any? Sorry to interrupt
Sure.
you. 'Cause I think it's the first time in 3 hours. So
No,
sorry.
no problem.
Couldn't you say that about 1,000 set of case studies of any human being?
Yes, you
1,000
could.
of them shouldn't go to your martial arts class because only 50 of them will survive.
Yes, you could. But the difference is the Matrix tries very hard to push the idea of property. Some of the other things,
But you can play the Matrix at its own game.
completely, 50 of them can, 950 can. And this is my point. My point is that the Matrix says do property, do property, do property. That is only applicable to a very small percentage. It's not applicable to everybody. The Matrix doesn't say do other things that are applicable to everybody.
No.
It tells everybody the same blueprint. And that blueprint used to be applicable to a lot more
He
people.
does look like a Matrix
I
character.
don't think this was actually the way
I was gonna make the joke. He does get the black get up and the sunglasses and the bald head. So yeah, he kind of.
In the next Matrix, his theme starts playing, and he's like the main bad guy.
He could beat Neo. It's probably a comic
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I mean, if he could beat Spider-Man, he could easily beat Neo. It's
You
not even a
think so?
contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
So far, I don't really have anything like giant disagreements with what he's saying. It's just kind of like, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of interesting to think about. Like his stance is that you should rent until you get rich enough to buy a house. And I do kind of agree with his stance where he's just like, yeah, don't be going out and buying houses right away. And a lot of people that do buy houses weren't ready to buy a house. You know?
In a sense, maybe. Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't buy a house right away, but it's like to like only rent forever either is not good either.
Yeah.
I think it's like rent should be like more of a last resort kind of thing because rent is also just disgustingly overpriced. You should just do whatever you can to get a lot of money, then try and get a house as soon as possible.
You can just do the Hamza method. Where he just starts a business from his parents' house and then became so rich. Like, he's hit 1 million subs recently, just become so rich that he's basically owns his parents' house now. And he's, like, taking care of and providing for his family. I was like, yeah, you could do that. I think that's interesting. Another thing I actually think this actually applies more to, this logic applies more to, would actually be cars. If you don't need a car, don't
get a car.
Don't get a car. If you can get a ride somewhere else, don't get a car. There's no reason to spend, especially right now. Especially right now. Let's just kind of sit on your money for a little bit. I got plenty of money right now that I don't want to be spending on a car. My mine broke down in the summer, and I haven't really been in a hurry to buy a new one, especially since the economy's been taking a nosedive. And I've got a ride everywhere I need to go, and I can just borrow a vehicle when I need it.
I've noticed that too. Thanks to like the economy being so bad, it's like I feel less of the need to buy things in general. Like I just don't want to buy anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
Feels wrong.
like the PC I have right now, the thing's, got some age on it. It's starting to limp along, but I'm not about to replace it right now. It can limp along a little farther. If we can just go a little farther, we'll carry this out until it just outright dies. So it's just with stuff like this. Yeah, I do think this probably applies to houses. If it applies to cars, surely it applies to like houses to an extent. I know a lot of people are just like, you shouldn't, stay home with your parents, and to a degree, I mean, like, I don't think you should leech off your family. Like, I think you should be out having a job and stuff like that. And even when it comes to certain things, you should be helping out with bills and all kinds of other stuff. Like, I actually, pay rent for, the room that I live in. I actually have to pay rent for it. To a lesser rate than most, but I still have to pay rent, and I still have to help out, and I still have to work and stuff like that. I actually work for a family company. So, I agree that you shouldn't be, some bum that's just sitting there just, like Jared Genesis, just sitting there just wasting your family's money, not going out and getting a job as your elderly parents are, getting older by the day. You're just sitting there.
That's scummy.
Yeah, it's a really bad thing to do. It doesn't feel good either.
I mean, he doesn't have a problem with it, apparently.
He's Jared.
Yeah, he's Jared. That makes me wonder what he's up to. I haven't checked on him since this whole EFAP Civil War started. By the way, every time I say EFAP Civil War, for some reason in my mind just goes to Jetfire from Transformers 2. Is that EFAP Civil War still going on? Who's winning?
Who's winning?
Southpaw. Will I change size to EFAP?
Stick the landing!
I'm too old for this crap.
Oh, I was just about to say that one.
Bro, I love how Jetfire is one of the only interesting characters in that whole movie, and he just dies. He's just barely in the film. It's goodbye, get dead.
Goodbye.
Goodbye,
You're
sir.
old.
Goodbye.
Smell like farts.
50, 60 years ago, property was fantastic for almost everybody. 1 year's wage, you get a house. That house cost 75 grand. Now it's 450 grand. Fantastic. You did good. Absolutely. It's different now that the house is 450 grand, you're earning 40 grand a year. Now it's a very different scenario. So when your parents or older people...
Wait, Skids. The God of War video. Excuse me, I read that wrong. The Civil War video is a month away. He put a date on it? I didn't even realize he put a date on it.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
He's actually gonna make content instead of cry on Twitter all day.
So he's actually going to make a video now about Civil War. Interesting.
He's actually gonna try and make content and do something instead of just whining on the internet. Impressive.
I mean, to be fair, we don't know that this won't also just qualify as whining on the internet. To be fair,
I mean, at least it's whining on the internet, but while making content.
Yeah, yeah, it's quality whining.
Yeah, it's a quality whining.
I saw it in the comment section of one of the Thumpcast. Okay, that's interesting that's actually should be that he's actually put a date on it. Interesting.
Cool. Now back to bald GTA character.
Back to the bald man. Bald man bad.
will say, yeah, dude, it was great back then. Now I don't think it's nearly... I think that the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. I think the poor are getting outpriced of most assets. I think that some of the biggest mistakes poor people can make or middle-income people can make is chase assets they can't simply can't fucking afford. And the only way they can do it is to indebt themselves to a bank with interest and enslave themselves for X amount of years, destroy their flexibility to try and pull off owning one property, and owning one ain't gonna make you rich anyway. You gotta own as many as you do. And what I'm saying is, there's a small percentage of people who benefit from property, just like there's a small percentage of people who benefit from crypto or stocks. How many people lose in the stock market?
Most.
Exactly.
How many people lose in Forex? Nearly all.
All, correct. So this is the same with every investment. The reason I'm only attacking property is because property is the one everyone says is safe as houses, good for everybody. No, it is not. It depends on your circumstance. That's my problem with property.
Okay,
In my
so
scenario, your scenario, how?
So I know this has nothing to do with the video, but when I inquired into Jared Genesis, I was just sent how Jared is doing. Let me just grab this real quick. Borgie was a dear and sent this to me. Apparently he's on Twitter back to his old shenanigans where he's like flirting with random women on the internet that don't know him.
Are they of age at least?
That is unknown.
Debatable.
That is debatable. Like, he's already said he doesn't care about age, so... Here you go.
Jared Juggernaut.
Jared
Juggernaut.
Yeah, that's his name. That was his name on the other YouTube platform. What's that one? BitChute? That was his name on BitChute for a while. You pull this up. Hey, sexy baby, how you doing, girl? Dang, you're gorgeous. Got a little country twang, maybe. Hey, good looking. What you got cooking, bro? Don't be butchering Hank Williams like that, man. Don't be doing that. That's one of the best country songwriters of all time. Be butchering that. Hey, good looking. No, I'm not gonna start singing. I'll spare you guys that. My karaoke days are behind me. Oh, did Liam bail? Did he Christian bail on us?
I don't think so.
Is that Southpaw Civil War still going on? Who's winning? And then it be okay. I won't go too far into it. That's not what this is about. I can't comment on the second one, but Sphere Hunter is 27. She's a game critic. That's interesting. That's interesting. He's trying to get with another content. He's done this before, where he's tried to get with like female content creators, and then he's like really bitter and incel-y about it when they're just like not interested in him. He'll like make videos of like dogging them, talking like response videos where he's just like talks about how stupid and ugly they are after they refuse to go out with him or acknowledge his existence. Yeah, he does stuff like that. So this doesn't surprise me. Should we wait for Liam to get back?
Yeah.
I don't know. Should you guys wait for me to come back?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
No, we shouldn't wait for you. You
We
suck.
shouldn't wait for you.
Let's continue.
Let us continue the video.
How can we lose? If I buy a house for $5 million, and I'm never, ever, ever going to need that money, I can wait until the day I die to sell it. Then I'm always going to make money. The property prices have crashed to $3 million, then I don't sell it.
Yeah.
Who cares? It doesn't matter to me. If I had a mortgage on it, it'd matter. It was my only property, it'd matter. If inflation is 20%, my wage is going up 1% a year, all this shit matters.
Okay, the logic here is at least understandable. Does that mean it's a superior choice to rent? Don't know. Maybe not. I don't know if that's exactly the case, but I do get what he's saying. I do understand the argument to an extent. Now, given I'm not like a big economics guy, so I can't exactly discern whether or not what he's spitting here is facts. But I'm just going to give good faith and assume that he knows more about it than I do.
Well, what I can say about this is just, like, this just kind of, like, brings up the idea of, like, it's kind of ridiculous how like, stupidly hard it is just to get a place to live at.
Mm-hmm. We can thank
I find that really obnoxious. You can thank the who?
the boomers. The boomers are always blamed for crashing the housing and stuff like that, which maybe they had a hand in that, but I don't know. I feel like
Great.
it's no use to sit here and just postulate on such things. What do you rank the Bayverse? 1 through 3 subjectively are some of my favorite movies, despite the fact that I know they're pretty awful. Like the third film is one of my favorite movies ever, and so is the first film. But
my favorite character is Glenn.
Glenn is a 10 out of 10. He's a 10 out of Glenn, a Glenn out of 10.
Glenn is the best character.
Glenn is the best character in any fiction. It's a shame that they like. That's why the sequels were worse, honestly, is because they just don't have Glenn in them. 4 and 5, I hate 4 and 5.
I don't mind 4. I don't like 5.
5 is awful. Other than that, I don't know. Bumblebee counts, right? Bumblebee's in the Bayverse.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No.
It's a reboot of the Bayverse, but it has Michael Bay's name slapped on it.
Nope.
It actually has Michael Bay's name slapped on it.
Still no. It's not the Bayverse.
I can... Wait a second. Let's settle this debate. Oh, man. I don't have Bumblebee in the 4K collection that I got.
It was originally meant as a prequel, but it was later retconned to be a reboot, so it's not in the Bayverse.
Well, Bay's name, like Bay Studios or whatever,
he was
actually...
the producer.
Yeah, is actually on it, so I just figured... And Seymour Simmons is in the film, so, like... I don't know.
Seymour Simmons is just... He's just such a objectively good and consistent character through all of the Bayverse. He was so good, he went to another universe.
He's so good, he was the only one to survive the reboot.
Yeah.
Bro, I swear, that's what the next Transformers film needs to get right.
Tango.
It's like, they're sitting there considering, it's like, how do we make this for a modern audience? Should we just make a film that has, like, non-binary robots or talks about Black Lives Matter? It's just like, no, bring back Seymour Simmons and Glenn.
Bring back Seymour
That's
Simmons
what we're here for.
Glenn.
Bring back John Turturro or whatever.
For modern audiences, you put John Turturro in them.
Yeah, yes. He was great in the Batman.
Maybe
Maybe the Batman would be enough for him to get another shot at Transformers. Okay? Bring him back. That's who we want back.
Maybe we should have The Rock as a Transformer.
Yes.
He just looks like an egg-shaped head as like a robot.
No, I'm touching it.
I mean, we had John Goodman, so why not?
I'm sorry about that, viewers. My roommate is a dickhead.
Not to me, not to you. We're the 50. But 950 people here need to join the real world and learn how to make money a different way. Because we teach you how to make money with nothing. If you make money with nothing, you can't lose. That's the beauty of it. You can lose if you invest in a house. You can't lose if you don't spend any money.
But if you raise money from other people, because money is infinite and everywhere, and partner up with someone and put that into property, that's money out of thin air, and then you buy, hold, die, you can't lose.
To a degree.
And inflation. One thing we haven't talked about yet. You have good debt mortgages. Inflation's paying 20% of that down a year for you.
Absolutely not really true.
It is interesting that the actual, like, interviewer knows a thing or two about this enough to actually go head-to-head with Tate on the issue and not just, like, you know, sit down and be like, oh, interesting, or just unnecessarily push back to a ridiculous degree like Piers Morgan did. He just seems like a reasonable guy that, since he has tenants himself, he would know, like, a lot about the subject, or enough to actually have this kind of conversation. So that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that everybody who's ever bought a house is lost. I only talk about this because the majority of my audience are 18 to 25, 26. They're being told by people much older than them that they buy a house to be financially secure, and I'm telling them that is simply not the case. And also, there's a bunch of intangibles.
Yeah, Sam Hyde said something similar, which I know Sam Hyde's not exactly the person that you should probably go to for financial advice, but he did. It is interesting that both of them have said something similar, that there was just like, buying a house is not what you do, is not like the investment decision you think it is, or something like that. It was something to the effect of, buying a house is not what you do to make money, right? That was like, okay, I think I agree with that.
It really isn't, which is why, like, my plan for, like, getting somewhere to live is gonna be, like, a little bit different.
I'm gonna live with my parents.
He wants to live with his friends,
You're gonna be like Seymour Simmons. It's like, you're living with your mom. No, she's living with me.
No, me and my friend are gonna save up money to, like, buy condo we could mutually own, and we could sell and split the profit when we're ready.
What you're about to see is top secret. Do not tell my mother.
Tell my mother.
Let's go.
Oh, it's so good.
Seymour Simmons is the best character in that entire franchise, and
I
like
love
we need
him
a
so
Bayverse
much.
stream. We need a Bayverse stream.
Oh
That's what
yeah,
I'm saying.
absolutely. I've
Yes.
actually got videos by Pointless Hub that we're gonna watch where he actually criticizes the films harshly, but he also loved them as a kid, so he still has that nostalgia for them. So I'm like, this is perfect. This is what I want.
That is beautiful. I
So
wanna see that
he
now.
has them about the first 3 films. So we'll I'd love to do Bayverse because I love
What
Bayverse.
advantages, like the absolute inflexibility of a house. I don't know in your experiences, but people I know have spent 2-3 years trying to sell a house. 2 years is eternity.
A bit off topic, but I do want to talk about this ever since we're talking about Andrew Tate. I think haven't you noticed that like Andrew Tate like is like, oh, I'm here to help people and get them to like, you know, live their better lives and get more motivated and blah 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 blah. But it's like usually it's like these short dumb videos on TikTok or YouTube Shorts that you usually get him from, and he has like some schemes where he wants to promote people to constantly do that too, or he just like says stuff on this podcast. Someone said a really interesting term I heard one time. It was like a random video. It's like called like mental masturbation. It's where you get yourself like all hyped up and thinking like you're gonna make a big change in your life and all that, but you really don't. And you just keep watching those videos.
Interesting.
I've always thought like that's like what Andrew Tate has always planned on doing. Like I think there could be like, oh yeah, maybe I am helping people, but like I think a lot of it for strategy wise to
You
make
think
gain more money.
it's
and
just
attention
kind of
that
you
way.
just think it's just another example of his narcissism at play yet again.
Well, yeah, because like he's not helping anybody. Most people are just doing mental masturbation. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. Mom, where's my tacos? Like that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They don't actually change.
It's
a lot
like
of the
the
time.
meme where it's just like when your mom deprives or where how was it when your mom deprives you of your masculine right to something, and it's just like it just puts in parentheses, it's like takes away your Xbox. And it's like referencing Andrew Tate. It's like talking about how like Andrew Tate fans are. It's like, yeah, sure. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's not necessarily not helping anyone. But I don't think
I do think the strategy is just to get people to mentally masturbate
is just
so they
for
keep
him
watching his content.
because he does have a marketing strategy which is literally go out, make clips of my videos. Hamza did something similar recently.
Yeah,
But
well, that's
Hamza,
what the
I
strategy
actually
is.
think
Like,
Hamza
obviously
is
they want
actually a lot
attention, too.
more, based on what I've seen of him and like listening to him talk and stuff like that. He genuinely cares about people. Not to say Andrew Tate like doesn't genuinely care about anyone, but Hamza definitely cares more. I don't think there's any denying that. Hamza wants you to take clips
Sure.
that he thinks are genuinely helpful, and he'll help promote you and like stuff like that for using those clips and stuff, and he'll reward you and whatnot. Because he's really passionate about trying to
I
help
think
like
the
people's
lesson,
mental health.
because this seems like a new era. It seems like a new era of like internet stuff, and I feel like a lot of people need to like understand this lesson. It's really hard, but if you're gonna like tell yourself, oh, I'm gonna do this and all that, stop watching the videos and start actually doing it.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's one reason I
Take
love
the strategy at least.
That's one thing I really like about
That's what I've
Hamza's
been doing.
content. He straight up says, "Eventually, I want you to stop watching this channel. Stop watching
Yeah.
me. If you've gotten to a point where you're like exercising, meditating, journaling, and yada yada yada, reading more and playing,
You don't need to watch it anymore.
Yeah,
That's, like,
exactly.
the
You
thing.
don't need me anymore. I want you to leave. I want you to go out
Yeah.
and start doing this stuff
Get off.
yourself." And it's like, yeah,
That
and-
should be the strategy. When you like watch a few of those videos, you should like watch like a few of them, and then you should just go, okay, I get it now, and then just do it. Like I've been doing that. Lately.
And it's fine
Like,
if you
I've
come
been
back
doing more
every now and then, I
exercise.
think. But yeah, don't like, you don't need to keep watching the content for like years to come. Just eventually you have to put this stuff into action. You can't just wait. You gotta keep planning. It's like, no, just do it. It's like the excuse that some people do when they're like, why don't you exercise? It's like, well, I want to make sure that I do enough research so I can get the proper postures going. It's like,
Just do something. Do something.
just exercise.
like when I'm not feeling it, and I'm like, I don't want to like go out or whatever. What I do at least is like 30 push-ups, before I go to bed, and like 10 sit-ups, 30 jumping jacks. That's like bare minimum. Like, at least do something like that. That's like at least better than nothing.
Borgie just sent me Bayverse trading cards that are Seymour Simmons and Glenn that are actually real. They're real trading cards.
Haven't we shown you?
Huh?
Haven't we shown you the Glenn one before?
I've never seen the Glenn one.
No,
I've
no,
definitely
no,
never
no,
seen
no.
the Seymour
Borgie
Simmons.
sent that to me a while ago. Never mind.
I've never seen the Seymour Simmons one, but I love that it exists. That's hilarious. I'm gonna show these on screen because these are beautiful. I actually want
so
to
happy
own
they
these
exist.
just because it's so ridiculous that they exist, that they made trading cards out of Seymour Simmons and
Yeah,
Glenn.
that's actually why Borgie sent it to me. He's like, should I buy this? And my immediate response was, yes, please do.
Do you know they actually have an unironic... I saw this at a flea market recently. You know the game Risk?
Yeah.
There's a Bayverse version of Risk.
What?
Yes. There is a Lord of the Rings version of Risk, a Warhammer version of Risk, and for some reason, there is a Bayverse version of Risk.
That is weird.
There's also a COD Zombies version of Risk. Why won't it let me? Why won't it let me? Some technical difficulties given that. It's being difficult, so I'm just gonna do that. There you go. I'm gonna do that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go back and screenshot the Seymour Simmons one because it's being difficult. They're called top trumps too, which I find funny, given that, you know, Trump.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those before.
Trump, lol. That guy that, like, he shares the same namesake of that one dude that won that random, like, contest or whatever. Something to do with democracy. They cheated, though. He didn't get to, like, keep his position, so... It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
I just like to clarify, any political things that Nightbridge brings up I don't necessarily agree with.
I mean, if you do, you're a bad person. I have it on good authority. All right, let's pull these beautiful cards up right here. You got Glenn, and I love that it's just the FBI interrogation scene that they're using for this image. I have done nothing bad my entire life.
My entire life!
Hey man, I'm still a virgin.
Hey man, I'm still a virgin. Okay, so I downloaded a couple thousand songs off the internet.
Who has it? Who has it? Don't talk to me! Don't talk to me,
Don't
criminal!
talk to me, criminal!
Bro, this dude is amazing. I love Glenn. They should have like taken him out of the movies. And Seymour Simmons is great too. He's got so many great lines, and he's one of the only characters not assassinated by the time the fifth movie rolls around. If not, no, I think he might be literally the only character not assassinated by the time the fifth movie rolls around.
How do they assassinate Sam?
I mean, they killed him.
Oh, if we're counting literal assassination.
Literal assassination.
Yeah.
Somebody assassinated him for real. I mean, I don't think they assassinated Sam's character. I don't know. Is Sam's character really, like, I don't know, that complex to be assassinated in the first place? I don't know.
You'd be surprised. People could find a way.
People will find a way. Life finds a way.
But if you think anyone can't be character assassinated, modern writing finds a way. They assassinated Woody from Toy Story.
Did they?
Yes.
Yes, Borgie, it is confirmed that Sam Witwicky has somehow been killed during the events of the fourth and fifth
it's
films.
confirmed that he's dead in the fifth movie because Anthony Hopkins' character is like, yes, I'm the last Witwicky.
The fifth movie's really bad. Anthony Hopkins is one of the only good parts of that film just because he's a great actor and he's having fun. But that movie's genuinely awful. Last Jedi levels of bad in places. They character assassinate Linux so much to an extent that it's literally like character assassinating Luke Skywalker to me. Sorry, I had to sneeze there. Yeah, Lennox gets character assassinated, which I don't know how you can even manage to do that. It's a really simple character. I am Soldier Man. I have family at home. We work.
Yeah,
with Autobots
he's a soldier guy, and he's a good person.
Yeah,
like, I don't know how you messed that up, and they did.
And they did. It's just like, I hunt down my friends. It's like,
hunt down my friends.
Oh, and then when Bumblebee tries to kill us for it, hey guys, calm down. It's like, why are you even helping with this? They don't give him a good reason, which I guess it might have worked if they did, but they didn't. So Lennox is just character assassinated like Luke Skywalker was.
Yep.
And yes, it's literally to the same extent. They completely make him do something that he would never, ever, ever do. And it's really annoying. I hate it.
So dumb.
The fourth movie's bad and pretty awful, to be fair. There's some like okay moments in its droning 3-hour long runtime. Like, just
y'all
hound.
remember the watch that killed Hitler?
I'm back. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, Transformers 5 has a pocket watch that killed Hitler. Bumblebee's a Nazi killer now because like
they have an old submarine that's a transformer that's stuck as a submarine.
Yeah, and they reuse footage from Transformers 2 where Megatron destroys the submarine. They thought we wouldn't notice, but we did. 5's a really bad movie, guys.
People also noted the frequent aspect ratio changes.
Yes, it's not like in Christopher Nolan movies where there's 2, there's 3. There's 3 different aspect ratios in the film, and they just change on a whim. It's really disorienting.
It's even worse than in Revenge of the Fallen, because Revenge of the Fallen has that too. Whenever Devastator is on screen, the aspect ratio changes.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Most people won't notice that. I feel like most people... Because I never noticed that as a kid. But with Transformers 5, it was like every 5 seconds the aspect ratio would change sometimes. And it wouldn't change between 2. It would change between 3 separate aspect ratios.
I remember the first time I watched the movie. I remember I couldn't look at the screen because it gave me such a headache because of the aspect ratio change.
Yeah.
It's just not appealing to look at.
Do you agree that Lennox in that film is assassinated to the degree like that Luke Skywalker was in Last Jedi?
Yeah. Which
doesn't make sense that how you can assassinate Colonel Lennox. He's a really simple character. And same with, I don't know, I feel like Morshower was also kind of character assassinated, but not to the extent that Lennox was. I mean, you could argue that movies have been technically character assassinating Optimus Prime ever since Transformers 2.
Yes.
But, yes. It's still cool, robot go boom.
He's still awesome.
Technically, was it established in his character in the first movie that he wouldn't do those things?
He wouldn't do those things. It just wouldn't fit his character.
Yeah, that's kind of like the whole point of Optimus Prime, and Optimus and Megatron's dynamic depends on that, right? That's like the whole point. And now he's just as ruthless as Megatron. People like to use the scene from 3 where he executes Sentinel as an example of this. It's like, actually, technically 2 started that. Like, the first scene in the movie is just a Decepticon...
The fallen shall rise again. Kill yourself.
Not
wait, you don't have to do it. I did it for you.
It just blows his eye out. It's like, oh, so we're just executing prisoners
the fallen
now.
Shall rise today. Too bad you won't. And your family won't see you again. Bam!
Now, here's the thing. I'm okay with someone like... If Ironhide did it, I'd actually be more okay with that. I feel like Ironhide would do something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ironhide was cool for vaporizing a dog for peeing on him.
We can assume that Optimus is against war crimes, yes. But I don't think the film... What's funny is that the film doesn't understand his war crimes. It's just like, wasn't that cool the way he killed that Decepticon? That's
wasn't
like,
that epic?
Yeah, literally.
Except the one time at the end of Transformers 2 when he kills the Fallen, when he's saying, I rise, you fall, it plays evil music, when it's like, film, are you dumb?
I don't... Yeah, no, the film still doesn't acknowledge it. That's just a mistake.
Yeah.
Because the music, as good as the music is in the Bayverse, even in the really bad movies, the Bayverse music is good because Steve Jablonsky's great. But even in the really bad movies, right, and all across the entire series, music is often used weird. like in positions where it doesn't make a lot of sense as a leitmotif and stuff like that. I don't know if you've ever seen like Sideways' video on it, but he made a pretty good video where he talks about the music's great, but for some reason they'll just like use it in weird places where it just doesn't really make a lot of sense.
So give me reason.
And Linkin Park. Transformers, unironically, the Bayverse actually is what introduced me to Linkin Park. I don't know how true
Same.
it is for the rest of you.
That's same for me.
Mm-hmm.
Transformers into
I remember
the
hearing
Bayverse.
like Numb for the first time, like because I was listening to a random Pandora station when I was like 15 in a Spurg, and it was like all of a sudden these people popped up. It was like, oh wait a minute, those are those guys from Transformers, you know? It was, yeah,
Ready to continue Andrew Tater Tots?
yeah, Andrew Tater Tots.
Years ago, we were locked in our houses. 2 years ago, if you're going to accept that degree of inflexibility, if you're going to accept that degree of obligation, I think for many people that is a mistake. I think there's better ways to make money, and I think that renting is
I'm not
safe.
staying in one house for like the
Especially now
COVID
we're
thing
in a world
exactly.
where a lot of money is made online. I have some people
Doesn't
who
make it-
money online. If you're making
It doesn't make it less isolated. That's not a good argument. It doesn't make it less isolated if you have more houses. Like, that's dumb. What? You're talking about, like, COVID restrictions. It's like, okay, the problem with, like, being locked in your house in COVID restrictions and all that crap is, that crap is, like, it sucks because, like, you're isolated, basically.
I think
having
he's saying
more
that-
houses doesn't really change that.
I mean,
Oh, you can move to this house. Yeah, I
you
can also
just
go
go
get
over there.
groceries either. I could walk to get some groceries if I
Yeah,
leave.
yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's like, what?
I
So dumb.
imagine Fat Nightbreed sounding like that. Fat Nightbreed, if you just want to hear things Fat Nightbreed said, I plan on making these videos public again. Because I'm not scared anymore. I've already paid for all that crap. Just watch my 2021 stuff.
Is Nightbreed coming back?
Knife breed.
Knife breed. Wait, do I have a
What
knife?
about-
When will woman breed be making a cameo?
Yeah, where's Woman Breed? What about Old Breed?
I haven't married her yet.
I mean, Old Breed is gonna be on the YouTube on my on a video
In the
I'm
future,
making
but not
very
right
soon,
now.
so. I mean, you age every second you speak in the Lego Batman video, so.
Oh, did you watch it back? I'm just sitting. I'm just
I
sitting
edited
there.
it.
I'm listening to like what
I
I'm
edited
saying
it.
and what you two are saying, and I'm just like, I feel like this is really unfunny. This is me trying to be funny, but not really having the energy to like actually say anything funny.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing, Nightbreed. Whenever you like say something condescending to anybody in the video, I just put like a picture of Woman Breed there. and whenever you like sound like a boomer and you're talking like an
It's
old
just
man, I
Old
just
Breed.
put Old Breed on the screen. It's really perfectly
Incredible.
fitting. Oh yeah, I also invented Lego Alfred Breed. You'll see. him in the
Lego
video.
Alfred breed.
Sha.
You want a sneak peek? Let me see
Lego
if I can find
Alfred
him.
breed.
Yeah, let me see if I can find him.
Sir. Stop diddling your child, sir.
He's of age.
Oh, I got it. Here it is. Lego Alfred Breed. Show the audience.
Okay. All right. Oh my lord, this is so dumb.
Whenever you do your Alfred impression in the video, that's just gonna pop up.
Sir, I'm coming to your house, sir. Alfred, you already live in my house. What are you talking about, Alfred?
There it is. Lego Alfred Breed. Oh yeah, there's also Harvey Breed.
Harvey breed.
You're talking
There
to
is.
the wrong Nightbreed.
There he is.
This looks terrible. This looks so bad.
It's so good.
Wait, which one's the good one?
Which one do you think?
I don't know. One's trying to open a movie with like a sword, and the other one's telling you he's gonna come to your house. So
One's coming to your house, the other one's threatening you with a knife.
So both of them are just evil. They're just different kinds of evil. Different degrees of evil.
Different breeds of evil.
I mean, I think this is actually a pretty accurate image of me. I have it on good, like, authority that I am a pretty two-faced guy.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You're talking to the wrong Harvey. Pretty two-faced, not gonna lie.
I like how the fat version of you just has a bigger nose. It's like you exercise your nose to not be so fat too.
You exercise to become less of a Jew.
Well, I mean, I'm still. Well, that was a random comment out of nowhere. Anyway,
I don't think you were listening to the joke Liam was making.
no, I heard the joke you made. That's the joke I'm referring to.
Liam pointed out how when you exercise, your nose.
You have a nose.
So
yeah,
like,
yes, and then you randomly brought Jews into it. That's why I'm like that was a random comment.
Do you guys not know the joke about Jews?
Yes, the stereotype is that Jews have big noses or whatever.
Yes, thank you.
Which
Jewish
technically Paragon can say because he's of Jewish descent. My nose is big. Actually, to be fair, this is like from an upward angle. This isn't the same angle, which is why my eye looks like half my face is melting. It's just my eye is sagging. I look like what's his name from Goonies.
Borgie got one. One side's racist, one side's transphobic.
This side hates black people, but it's okay with like trans people, and then this side's just the other way around. It's like that one video Steven Crowder did where it was like the polite racist, where he's just like a really nice, sophisticated guy. He's just like, I didn't see Black Panther. He's like, why not? It's just, oh, it's because there were black people in it. He's like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, I'm a racist. He's like, oh, does that mean you hate people for? He goes, their skin color? Yeah. It's like I don't know how I feel about this. It's like really uncomfortable. And at the end, it's like, you want to see Charlie's Angels? He goes, oh, of course. I'm not a sexist. This is exactly what this is. To be fair, this is actually still a fat image of me. So I'm still like really fat here. I've lost quite a bit of weight. You can see I don't have the double chin anymore. I'd only lost like 40 pounds at this point. I've lost like almost 50 more since this picture. This other one, I was just totally fat. So this is an abhorrent monstrosity that was just trying to do whatever he could to be relevant.
It kind of looks like you're like Clayface pretending to be Nightbreed. It's like starting to mold out. Like half of it's like getting fat.
Yeah, Clayface is trying to be you, but he's really drunk.
If Borgie Boy was Clayface, basically.
If you're making money online, even living in a Western country is stupid. Go to Thailand. Live for a fraction. Be safer. Not get stabbed. Like, even living in the West in general is dumb if you're making money online, and more people are. So my point is nuanced. There's absolutely exceptions to the rule. There's absolutely scenarios in which I'm totally wrong. It's a nuanced point I'm trying to condense, and I'm saying that property used to be the cure-all for everybody. Get a normal job, work in a factory, pay off your house, be good. Yeah. It's not like that anymore.
No,
now that I agree with. It isn't like that anymore. Back in the day, you could do that. You can't do that now. I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's not really something that is doable anymore. Like, I know plenty of factory workers, given that I actually do help do electrical work in factories. I've seen plenty of them. They're not paying off their house the way that they probably would have been able to 50 years ago. That's just a fact.
Money's not going to be yours, is it?
Yeah, exactly. It's not like that anymore. And also, what did we say earlier about competitiveness? We said that there are people out there in the world competing with me, and there's people out there in the world competing with you. You're a property shark. You just said it. You're an animal. They're competing with you. Like, you can pay more for it and overpay for it because you know you're going to have whatever. You can buy the houses next door and put shit tenants in them. Like, if you want to fuck somebody, you could. So they're also competing with sharks, and this is the point I'm making. The reason I'm anti-property is because often it's a 24-year-old guy who just got his first good job out of uni. He might be able to, if he eats ramen noodles for the next 15 years, pay off this fucking council.
Oh, that sounds horrible. Can you imagine eating ramen for the next 15 years? That sounds terrible.
Ugh.
Ramen's gross anyway.
It doesn't even like keep you filled up for that long. It's like 30 minutes and you're hungry again. It sucks.
That's why you eat more ramen. That's all you eat. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Raw sometimes just to change it up a little bit.
Can I have an apple?
And I'm like, bro,
no, you're a poor college kid. You can't afford fruit, idiot.
So are you saying from a standing start?
You are a fruit yourself,
not good,
Paragon.
when you've got wealth, parking it into property is good.
Correct. I think that if you have a lot of wealth, parking your money into assets in general is good. I think that property is a pretty safe asset overall, globally. It does go through some ups and downs, but property performs. It's certainly a fantastic place. I think as a way to generate wealth, there's some people who say it can be done. That's fine, but I think it's very inflexible. I've always preferred flexibility. I think we now live in a world where a lot of money can be made online, a lot of money can be made from the phone, a lot of money can be made from the computer.
Yeah, actually, I kind of agree with this. This is where the new market is, and this is where you need to go if you actually want to tap into some sort of gold mine, which is why so many people are flooding there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I actually agree with this. Hamza said something similar. It's like try to start some sort of online business, some sort of online service. This is where the money's at now. The money is no longer just in the normal hard labor jobs like it used to be. Money is here now. It's like that's undeniable. I don't know how you could even argue with that. I mean,
definitely. Like,
yeah, it really
I think
is
everyone
that simple.
should find something like that.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I don't know if I agree. Like, a lot of people are just like, everyone needs to start their own side hustle. It's like, I don't know if necessarily everyone needs to start their own side hustle. The whole, if everyone's super, then no one will be kind of thing. Not everyone can be at the top, but yeah, I think it would probably interest most people to at least look into it.
I feel like a lot of people...
Well, then again, you can technically do anything with a side hustle,
money.
can't you? Pretty much, unless it's like factory work or something. I don't know how you're going to attribute that to some sort of internet side hustle. Like, but if you do like some sort of art, like you knit, or you do crafts, or you can even like make a side hustle out of playing video games or reviewing books, right? Or writing books. You can do a side hustle out of like writing short stories on Amazon and then having the link to the next short story is just a really long series at the end of each manuscript, so people can just click on it and go to the next one, pay for the next one. You just pile that money up. There's people that have made like lots of money just doing that. So yeah, I think you can. I think the internet is the moneymaker now. That's where you need to be.
Oh yeah, like I feel like everyone should like try and like get some kind of business up to like make money online. It's a good thing to have because like jobs just aren't paying enough. It feels like forever to get money, honestly.
Yeah.
Or if you do get money, you have to kind of submit to it, and it just feels like shit.
Yeah, I would say to an extent. My payment is a little different than most people's, but I do think at the very least having a second cash flow source can't hurt.
It'll never hurt, so just always do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a universal thing people should be doing.
Yeah. I think most people could do it. I don't see why not. If you have some sort of special skill that, surely to God, you weren't born just to be a factory worker, right? That's just basic hand-eye coordination. Surely to God, you have some sort of other talent that you can do. I mean, there's even people that like, I'm a mechanic and I fix cars. It's like there's YouTube channels that are making bank right now. It's just them fixing cars because there are men that find that really interesting to see the intricate parts of a giant engine being taken apart and put back together again after it's been left out in the forest for like 20 years. That's interesting. People find that interesting. There's a market for all kinds of stuff.
If all else fails, you could just start becoming an assassin for hire to take out major political figures.
Like Sam Hyde's friend, that clip I showed you. I don't know if I'll show that on the stream.
Like Jay Schlatt.
Jay Schlatt. Oh yeah. I don't know.
More Andrew Tate. Let's watch more.
Or Andrew Tate. Yeah, Andrew Tate. Okay, listen.
Also,
Andrew Tate's likely had someone killed at least once.
Into the very beginning, where I said the ultimate
Yes.
bottom line of the world's violence.
Andrew Tate probably accidentally killed someone that was like a kickboxing
Surely
career.
that's something I wanted to
I don't
ask
know about
you.
that.
I feel like that's the last thing they'll take before a full-on fucking war. Like they'll take everything.
You know what?
else
I'm looking it
first.
up. Has Andrew Tate
They'll
killed
call in the
someone?
gold.
I'll keep it playing.
They'll
True.
debase
Yeah, keep
money.
playing.
That'll all happen before your fucking house.
Well, if they're going to do it to the whole population, I agree. But if they're going to do it to an individual, I disagree.
Yeah.
If you don't pay your parking ticket, they'll take your house. Sooner or later. May take a year, may take 2 years. They will take your house. So my question is this: do you own it? This is my problem with property. I own my house. Do you? They can take it off you anytime you annoy them.
No. If you don't pay your mortgage for 3 months, you'll see you own your house.
Yeah, that's right. If you don't pay your taxes, you own your house. If you don't wear a mask when they tell you to, and you get a fine for not wearing a mask, and you think that's injustice, and you don't pay the fine, and they add money to the fine, then it goes to court. You're supposed to turn off. You don't. They send a bailiff. You tell the bailiff to get fucked. They will take your house. So if you don't wear a mask, they take your house. So do you own it? This is a philosophical question, and you can answer. Do you feel like you own?
He's implied it, Nightbreed. He's implied it. I looked it
Yeah.
up. He's implied it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's never really denied it. Like I said, he has.
He's never denied
He's
it.
implied that he's had some sort of ties to killers in the mafia and stuff like that. As far as what he says here, though, I think he's got some solid points.
I'll link the video here.
I think he's got some solid points where he's just like, "Do you technically own the house?" kind of thing. I think that's relevant. Because talk about how like you can literally be fined for wearing a mask and eventually have your house taken away. So do you really own it? It's an interesting question. I don't know what the definitive answer to that would be, but it's an interesting point.
That's an interesting question. Yeah.
Argue that you don't own shit.
Philosophically, I don't think I own anything.
Well, I would actually disagree with that again. I think that there are things you can own in this world.
Well, philosophically, though, you said philosophically.
Women.
Okay. Well,
Women.
Philosophical.
That's what he
Please
meant.
say it. Please say it, Andrew. Say
No,
it, please.
nothing.
Well, that's true. Okay, then it was a hypothetical. It's a hypothetical point I'm making. When people say I own property.
No, I agree with you because I answered your question philosophically.
Yeah.
Don't think I own anything.
Now, philosophically, I don't know if this has anything to do with what they're trying to say here. It might not. So this might be just be a pointless tirade. But philosophically, I believe everything I own is actually like God's, right? Everything is God's stuff. It's all given to Him. It's a sacrifice to Him. It's to show, my love and my relationship for Him. So
God's
everything is
gonna
kinda
take my
God's.
Xbox.
Yeah. You gotta dedicate
God
your
could-
Xbox to God.
God said
God's
it's my turn on the Xbox.
God has said it's my turn on the Xbox.
I said no.
God's just like, Timmy, get off the Xbox.
It just strikes you with lightning because you're a cringe gamer. Just he just pops you with a God Glock.
God
I'm ready
said-
for you, Zeus. You don't have the stomach. No. Oh,
I love that meme.
You don't own your own property either. As a
Strike me down,
a
Zeus.
structure,
You don't have
as
the
someone said.
balls.
No, I don't think I own. I think I own the.
That's such a
Yeah,
Patrick
it's
moment.
And the capital of.
I would say you own the income it creates when it's not in a bank, when it's in your hand for a while. You own it. Yeah. But
Yeah, well, I always take it from. I always take the income.
So does Andrew Tate use a bank
the
or
income
not?
comes to me
That's
now.
interesting.
Obviously, if what happened to you,
He just has
happened
a
to me,
vault
you wouldn't own it.
then I
that's
could
like
be
shaped
fucked.
as his
You
head.
wouldn't own the property. If you got cancelled to the level I got cancelled, you would own none of that
He used
property.
bank. No one ever said it was a legal bank.
You would own
What,
none of it.
what,
Actually,
yeah,
no. I know the
It's
answer to this.
mafia bank.
No. He actually created his own bank, put his own money in the bank, so no one else in the bank could do anything with his money. He literally legally created his own bank to put his own money in. I think that's literally what he
funny.
did. I don't
That does
remember.
sound like something he would do.
I don't remember where he said it. It might have been literally in this interview, but I remember
I'm
him
looking
saying
up right
something
now.
to that effect.
Does
Andrew Tate own his own bank.
Andrew Tate.
It might be okay. But this is my point. The point is when someone, but you're a shark who can afford complicated legal structures. Joe Schmo is getting a mortgage in his name.
But you
Buying himself-
teach Joe shows to become sharks, don't you? That's what you do.
That's the goal, yeah. But this is what when I say I'm anti-property, it's because of the exact scenario I described earlier. 24-year-old buying a house, getting a mortgage in his name, he owns it, and I say, listen, my friend, one, it's not going to make you rich. Two, you don't even own it.
But I
You
mean,
don't even
owning it though, like, what's that all about? Why does it matter if you own it? I like you have a lot of cars. I don't have 30, but I think I have 6 or 7. I don't own a lot of them. I don't own my Aventador.
Yeah.
I don't own it. I don't want to own it.
Completely. I understand, and that there's a financial benefit to doing that. I get it. But property is something different. because
As the
cars
Messiah
are a toy,
once
and
said,
property is supposed
Arkham
to be
Origins is a
investment.
4 out of
It's
10.
just that the whole idea of home ownership.
Who once said
Yeah.
that? What?
paradigm.
The Messiah.
Oh yeah, the Messiah.
Hey,
Yes.
Borgie, I appreciate you bringing your gospel here and trying to teach what you believe, but I don't want this stuff living in my head rent free. Okay, take it somewhere else.
Oh
This
yeah,
isn't the space
definitely.
for that.
I think we're now
Sounds
moving
like
towards some of the
Paragon's
same
diet
things. I
eats
agree. I
nothing
think
but
selling
pasta.
you
I'm sorry, which one of us
getting
has to be
into
constantly
debt,
reminded
the average
not to
American
eat?
We're not, dude. I do not want to hear your marital arguments while I'm over here trying to do
Yeah.
a stream about
And
Andrew
delete his
Tate.
comment.
I don't care about your marriage. I don't care about your marriage. Your marriage sucks. You're a failed woman. We get it. You're a bad housewife. We understand. Can we watch Andrew Tate talk about how you should own anything? And
I've said this
how he
before, and I'll say it
possibly
again.
killed
I'm not
someone
the
in the
wife. I'm
mafia.
not the wife. I'm the husband. I have to deal with it. I have to put up with him all day.
You do
I
all the
have to-
Your voice
cleaning.
does
You're
not
the
imply that.
wife.
Your voice doesn't even imply that. It's like, I'm not the wife, I'm the husband. That's something that the wife would say.
Listen,
Go away.
I'm a very masculine man. I'm wearing the pants in this relationship.
I don't know. I don't know how you can say I don't sound masculine when my voice
He doesn't
is
fuck me in the
my
butt.
throat is sore.
He doesn't have sex with me in the butt. I have sex with him in
Okay.
the butt.
Oh Lord. The point is I don't want to
I'm
hear
the
it.
dominant one.
I don't want to hear it. Video playing.
£600,000 in their lifetime in interest. The house that they've got you in debt in is a trap, and then you pay half of your money in tax, and then you pay 600,000 in your life in interest.
Yeah.
I think is when you turn property into an investment.
I agree with you. And for me, it's just a philosophical thing where I think that anything that can be taken off of you, you don't own. So for me,
It's an
once
interesting
again,
point.
You're in a unique scenario, as am I. But if you're Joe Schmo, owning
Yeah,
it,
Paragon. Don't soil yourself over a joke, Paragon.
rich in any considerable, serious amount of time. 20 years from now, you might get hit by.
He says, Paragon, I made a joke, calm down. I said, yeah, don't soil yourself over a joke, Paragon. I just made a joke, Paragon.
I bust this forever.
I mean, it is usually females that like take jokes more seriously. So yes, you are the
The
housewife.
benefit of renting it versus ownership, well, you can get kicked out either way,
Sure.
and you lose all your flexibility.
Can we just watch Andrew Tate talk about
once you're
flexibility?
sitting there going, I have $7 million.
Can we watch Andrew Tate basically become a parody of GTA
Absolutely.
in real life?
But I don't think that applies to most people. I mean, saying, my mom said I should buy a house. You're a dummy.
And yes, Borgie, I know it was just a joke. Don't worry, I know you were just pretending to be
Stop,
retarded. That's fine.
stop soiling yourself over a joke.
Well, they give you the advice that worked for them.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't blame them. It's worked for them. So absolutely, why would they believe it doesn't work anymore? They were putting money in a savings account and getting interest on the money, like 4 or 5% interest on the money, and then buying a house for 1 year's salary that went up 10x. I'm sure it sounds like a great idea. Imagine if it was still that way right now. I'd tell everyone to buy a fucking house, but it isn't. And then you add into the fact that the government is getting more and more tyrannical. You add into the fact that violence is the bottom line. You add into the fact they will take your fucking house off you. What do they do in Canada to the truckers? And the Canadian truckers.
Yeah. I mean, Mr. Canadian over there, like, yeah, I'm sure you heard about the trucker thing, where they were like,
No, I haven't. What's that about?
you didn't hear about the trucker revolt? That was straight up in your home. That was like straight up in y'all's home turf.
Here's the thing. I may be Canadian, but I don't really care about the country at all.
Oh, okay. So basically, because of COVID, the inhumane COVID. I don't know if it's inhumane is the right word, but because of the COVID laws that violate human rights, as free people, a bunch of semi-truck drivers essentially decided to revolt against Canada, and they started a convoy, basically, and just refused to actually deliver any of their deliveries, and it really screwed over Canada's economy, and Trudeau refused to give any ground to them whatsoever. And so to stop the protests, the actual lawful protests where no one was killed or hurt or anything like that, but, Canada supports BLM where people were hurt and killed, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about that one. So they would go to they would look these truckers up, look at the manifests, find them, and take their houses from them, and stuff like that, and relieve them of their property while they were out at this protest. They found out who they were and took their stuff.
They literally came to their house.
Yeah, Canada was straight up, I'm coming to your house.
I'm coming to your house. Boom, boom,
So that's,
boom, boom.
That's Canada for you.
They literally
Canada,
did the Breaking Bad, just finding Gail's address.
No, they literally did Donald Trump doxing Walt Jr. I've got it right here.
Yeah.
It looks like you got a pizza on your roof. That's my grandma's house. Ha ha. Nice try. Will you play video games at your grandma's house? You're a loser. Don't even talk to me.
Yeah.
So that's Canada for you. So straight up, they actually because they were peacefully protesting and literally just using their human rights to protest against a tyrannical government.
Oh yeah, they didn't allow certain reporters and all that in certain meetings or whatever to report on things because those reporters were advocating for
Anti-lockdown stuff.
less lockdown stuff. Yeah, those reporters weren't allowed in most of those Trudeau thingies.
If
It's
people want to
true,
know what
like,
my opinion
whatever.
on like staying inside your house and stuff like that is, it's basically if you thought it was the right thing to do at the time, that's up to you. If you think it's a good idea to stay in your home, it's probably the best time in history to do something like that because you can just have Amazon and whatever delivery company give you your food and whatnot. But if you want to take the risk and go outside, I think you should be allowed to do that. I think you should be allowed to take the risk of spreading this virus. And if everyone outside is equally taking the risk, then all of them, like, basically are accepting the possibility that they could get sick. That's my argument. But to make it where everyone
I
has
do
to stay
believe there
inside
should be
is-
some restrictions, I guess, but like not.
Oh
too
yeah,
many.
but not to the point where it's just like you can't go to church, but you can go to a liquor store and you can go to Home Depot. So, but you can't go to church.
That's dumb. Yeah, that's dumb. For example, but I'm okay with certain places closing down. Like I'm okay with the pools closing down at the time, even though I worked there, just because it's like obviously
the pool. Yeah, it's not really a necessity. That wasn't. You know, I don't think that's necessary, but.
Yeah, that's super unnecessary.
Trudeau
an
loves
interesting-
black people so much, or BLM so much, he became black. Y'all seen that picture where he did blackface?
Oh my
That's
god,
that's y'all's
no,
boy. That's y'all's boy, comic legend.
I remember that. Oh, what an embarrassment to all of us. But
Pools are such an interesting concept because we're land creatures, but we go into water for fun. That's weird to think about.
I'm sure there's other animals that do that though.
I mean, most of them do, right? Except for like I don't know, cats. I don't know.
Cats hate water.
And they protested.
Dogs
and they lost
going.
their houses and lost their cars and lost their fucking
Well, yeah, but that's
pets
'cause
and
we make
euthanized
them.
their dogs.
Oh yeah, that's right. Canada was euthanizing their dogs, the truck drivers' dogs too.
What about their dogs? What?
When
Okay, so like the finding them and messing with their property, that's bad enough. Literally murdering their dogs.
I'm sorry. I love just this unintentional image of Andrew Tate just flipping off this dude. I don't know why I find this so funny.
No one pausing. No one pausing.
I'm gonna screenshot this, bro. It's not even intentional because he was using it to count, and it just looks like he's flipping off this dude.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
That right there needs to be in a GTA 5 loading screen
Absolutely.
or GTA
Yeah,
4
I
loading
didn't
screen,
know
whatever
that.
They
GTA. I
euthanized
don't
their
know.
dogs.
I knew that they clawed money out of bank accounts.
They euthanized their dogs and stole their money from their bank accounts. So
Yeah, they stole.
man
They
who worked his
actually
entire
went
life
into
trying
the
to-
bank, their bank accounts, after they looked up who the truckers were. The Canadian government took their money out of their bank accounts.
That sounds just
Okay, I know this is completely off topic.
criminal,
but-
but okay.
I know this is completely off topic, but replica. First of all, humans are animals by definition, and also I didn't say we can survive underwater. I said we go into water.
We
for
go
fun.
into water for goofs. It's just a little thing. Let's keep
Humans
going.
humans are animals by definition.
across Canada to truck, who was a proud home owner, found out very fucking quickly that you don't own anything. It's a scam. So for me, especially as somebody in my situation, my precarious.
I mean, honestly, yeah.
Canada's.
Canada's.
It sounded like you were going to say Canada.
Canada. Okay,
Canada.
listen. I used to make this joke all the time, where when I would see the word like Canada, I would say Canada. So I did that for so
Canada.
long that it's hard for me to not do it anymore. I would say like Canada Dry, or something like that, talking about like ginger ale. This is just one
Canada
word.
Dry.
Canada.
Okay.
But honestly,
Canada.
Canada's policies and their history and what they did during the trucker revolt kind of doesn't it kind of solidifies his point. So like there's that. I don't know what to think about that. It doesn't necessarily mean he's right 100% with everything he's saying. Just Canada did prove him correct in some
I
aspect.
mean, he's clearly pulling off a lot of fallacies, like insulting in this debate. He did flip the guy off, of course.
we do have evidence of this. You know, if you
Yeah, it's a
if you
screenshot.
rewind the stream or you just go right here to the screenshot, you can see like this was completely uncalled for. Like you didn't
Yeah, it
have
was
to resort to
really
this during the
immature.
debate. Thessalonica
Yeah, well-
Sanahati Vanderbilt would not be happy with this one image.
Yeah, that gracious man would not like you flipping people off.
Just out of nowhere. What was this even for? Like, why would you do this?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it, man.
Classic GTA moment right there. Really
Classic
based.
Tate L, more like it. Good God, that was terrible.
He was an enemy of the Matrix.
The
Considering
top
property
G
is the most controlled
exposed,
Matrix
being
asset
immature.
that exists. Considering that if they could take it off me, they fucking would. I need to find assets which are very, very difficult to seize.
Decentralized hard assets, you mean?
Just there are a whole bunch of things in the world which are actually very difficult to take.
Like,
And property is not one of them. There's others.
like,
One is people not knowing
Borgie, the fact that I have read your mind and know what joke you're going to make, I don't know what this says about either of our characters, but it's probably not good things.
He's predictable.
Protecting the
It's
fact that you
I've seen this before.
which is
shut people like me up asking about it on podcasts.
Well, exactly. That's the first. That's the answer, right? One is protecting the fact that you own it. I mean, I don't know about your particular scenario, but in Florida, in America, in California, and in Canada, they were piercing LLCs. They were piercing LLCs to see who owns the LLC to seize the property. So once again, the law says if it's owned by a company that they can't take it or they can't see who owns the property in the company. Yes, they fucking can. Piss them off.
Yeah.
If you piss them off, they'll throw all the rules out the window. The same reason they're going to kill me. Murder's bad, but they throw the rules out the window when you annoy them. So
Because
this is my
Canada's
exact
gonna
point.
murder.
So I just personally,
Kill Andrew Tate. Man, what an ending that would be. Like the villain gets defeated by the most unexpected enemy, Canada itself.
Canada.
Imagine if it's just literal. It's the whole country just fucking. It starts flying up to the heavens and like, it just like locates Andrew Tate's locations, just slams right down into him.
The scene, the scene from Daredevil where Wilson Fisk kills what's his name? No, the reporter guy. I don't know why his name just left me. It's literally just that scenario, except Tate is the one getting
Canada.
Kingpin's Canada. He says sorry right before he does it. It's like sorry. Strangles him. Or maybe
it is a representation of
Ben
Canada.
Okay. I was about to make a stupid joke. It wouldn't have even been funny.
Kingpin is like the CEO of Canada.
I got 100 million in property. I'm good. Because I'd be like,
not about the
I don't
money,
have
Spider-Man.
I have to be quiet and I have to be careful. And if they don't like me, they'll get me. That to me doesn't feel like ownership. Ownership is they can't take that off of me. That's true ownership. So you don't own property. It's a scam. It's a lie.
I enjoyed that discussion.
And I'm not saying you can't make a bunch of money from it. I'm not even saying that. I'm just,
Yeah.
it's just.
You're
it's
more
philosophical.
talking about people who don't have a lot of disposable, tying a noose around their head of owning their own home.
Correct. And
Yeah.
then being in a position where they might lose it anyway if they don't completely live their life as a slave and pay every fucking parking ticket.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I mean, because how do they really enforce parking tickets? Let me give you a quick story. I bought an Aston Martin DBS 3 months ago. I pulled up outside the hotel. I bought it in London. I pulled up at the hotel. I parked in the double yellow. I left it there. Traffic warden was right there. So I'm going to give you a ticket.
It's so crazy
Bro,
that
you ever
he's
seen
so
James
well
Bond look for
educated.
parking?
Yeah,
It's
that's
so
really
crazy that
weird.
it's so crazy that he's so well educated, and that he hates women.
I mean, that's the benefit of the education.
Oh, jeez.
He knows more than us, bro. That's why he hates women. He figured it out. You know how we're always trying to understand women? You know? Like, it's like one of the lifelong things of every man is trying to understand women. He does. That's why he hates them.
That's why he flips them off like in the image.
this abhorrent
women.
image.
You cheated! You cheated! Smack,
You
smack,
cheated!
Grab. What's up, bitch?
The fact
good.
the fact that video isn't on the internet anymore is like a crime.
That's a war crime. That's a war crime. That's a crime that's calling for war. Put that back on the internet, YouTube. How dare you? Right now, like right
Give me a fucking ticket.
this second. Put it back.
I quote that video like all the time. You're not Steven Seagal. You're a hoe. It's just there's so many lines in that video that's just so great.
We're not Steven Seagal.
Stay in the hotel.
You're a hoe.
Come on, I'm busy. Stayed in the hotel for 4 days. Ticket. Came out to a window. It was on my Instagram before they deleted it. A window.
By the way, this is not evidence that I hate women. Okay? For those of you that are disingenuous.
I love women. Women are great.
Alright.
Women breed.
It's a joke.
He became a woman
These are
at one
funny.
point in an image thing. He got long hair, and JP was really attracted to him.
I've never felt
disturbing.
more uncomfortable
Now-
in my life.
How do they enforce those tickets? Well, they said, I don't own them. I don't even own that car. And the car's not in the country anymore. It's sitting in my house in Bulgaria. So now what the fuck are you going to do? So I got thousands and thousands of pounds of parking tickets, and guess what happened? Nothing. Zero. Because I don't play by the stupid rules the Matrix tells me to play by. If I was Joe Schmo and I ignored them, I would lose my home. But me, I could turn up, tell them to get fucked, and do whatever I want. And what you'll actually learn...
Okay. Certain rules, sure, but...
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What did he say?
Basically, he's talking about how nobody's going to call him out or get him in trouble for paying a parking ticket. For not paying a parking ticket. It's like, I don't know if you should be necessarily encouraging blatant, like, not obeying the law in any capacity. Because it's the Matrix, bro. So I feel like if you said that, it's like, so you're encouraging people just to break the law, and it's just like, I mean, the law is just something created by the Matrix. I feel like he would use that kind of fallacy anytime you would try to be like, yeah, but people should, to an extent, be law-abiding citizens.
Ignorant little Nightbreed. Want to know why Andrew Tate works for the Mafia? It's because they know about the Matrix. They're all just trying to fight against the Matrix.
Yeah.
That's why we have the Mafia. Kingpin knew what he was doing. Kingpin was trying to free from everyone from the Matrix during their...
Canadian Kingpin was trying to keep us all in the Matrix, and Andrew Tate was trying to save us.
Kingpin figured out that the key to resisting the Matrix is the Mets.
Is that much?
Kingpin created the Collider to get us out of the Matrix.
And all rules on Earth have an economic... There's an economic level to which you must adhere, and there's an economic level to which you don't have to adhere. Anything that's financial in and of itself is basically saying it's okay for rich people to do anyway. Let's say I agreed to pay the fine. Cool. I didn't have to look for parking. I paid $3,000. That's worth 5 minutes of my time. So it's basically saying it's okay for a price. So it's okay for rich people. It's not okay for poor people. Whenever there's a fine as a punishment, they're basically saying no poors, no brokies.
No brokies.
Look at banks. They make billions of dollars breaking the rules and pay $1 million fine. It's okay for the rich. Not allowed to do it with poor. If you do that, if you pull off some fraud as a brokey, guess what happens? Jail time. Do the bankers go to jail? Fucking.
That's a good point, yeah. That's nuts.
But that doesn't mean you should necessarily do it.
No, you shouldn't
I know they get away with it, and even if I was to become... Excuse me. And when I become in the ranks of these rich people, right? That doesn't mean I'm gonna not pay parking tickets, not pay speeding tickets. I'm just gonna, just be an anarchist essentially in the country I live in. No.
Yeah.
Obviously, you should still do good things. You should still be a good person.
You should still start debates on Twitter.
So,
yes.
Extrapolating that out, yes, at a certain economic level, there are things
you should intentionally go up to that guy that dubbed himself the bunter of hornets' nests and like straight up just stick a dynamite inside a hornet's nest just to prove that you're better at it than he is. I'm just kidding. That's not why I did it. That's not
I think
why
I've shown you a video of that happening before. Someone had a hornet's nest on the side of their house. So they put a pipe bomb in it. They put a pipe bomb in it.
Yeah. That's what I find funny. It's like, I'm the professional bunter of hornets' nests. Oh my god, this guy's getting to me so much I have to mute him on Twitter.
Oh, no!
They're stinging! The stings! It's like, what's the point in being a professional bunter of hornets' nests if you can't take a few stings, bud?
So you can pull property, fantastic. But as a brokey, it's bullshit. That's the point.
Hey, before you go, if you want to watch the full uncut
interview is like 3 hours long, so I didn't want to watch it. It's got some interesting things in it. He does call him out for the webcam thing.
Yeah,
he's just like, you shouldn't participate in like drugs and pornography and stuff like that. It's like well, pornography. You own a webcam studio, don't you profit off that as well? He calls him out for it. Andrew Tate just kind of like rubs it off. It's like, well, you can dabble in it. Is kind of like what his answer was.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah,
that is such a great point. Like, that's the thing. That's why I think with like Andrew Tate, it's really fake. He's just trying to get people to mentally masturbate.
Which is why I like Hamza more, because I feel like Hamza's like the more real version. Which is kind of interesting, considering that Hamza is like such a supporter of Tate. I don't know. I find that interesting.
I think it's just because most people like that, like, are like, oh my god, Tate's like speaking truth, but it's like, sure, but he's not doing it for the right reasons at all.
Yeah, he's not speaking truth. I don't know if his heart's necessarily always in the right place, and he doesn't really. It's like when he says something about motherhood, right? When he like says this really base thing about how women should like start glorifying being a mother again and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, this is super based, and then you find out the way that he treats women, like, actually in real life.
Literal cam whores.
Yeah, literally, like, he's just got a bunch of cam whores and he just has sex with as many women as possible. It's like, you're not helping the situation.
Yeah, you're not helping. You're just preaching.
Yeah, you're just preaching. You're making it worse, if anything. Right? You're encouraging them to be whores.
I mean, don't do drugs. Aren't you with the mafia that does drugs?
Okay, listen, you cannot tell me that this dude has not at least, like, hit a couple of bumps off something.
I think he looks like he single-handedly took down, like, a portion of the mafia, so they just respected him and left him alone. That's what happened.
Yeah, he got in, like, a massive, like, kickboxing match with a bunch of guys that tried to whack him, and he, like, it's like that scene in Raid 2 where he's just going through the mafia stronghold and just, like, beating
Well, that's why he has
up.
a machete in his bed. Whenever someone's trying to off him, he just gets them with his machete and hides the body.
I mean, everyone always laughs at the guy that sleeps with a machete under his pillow until, you know, the one day. Till the one day it's not funny anymore.
Listen, I'm a Halo fan. I know you're supposed to keep swords when you sleep.
Yes. Okay.
Someone could want the position of Kaidan.
So we go to the Thessalonica Sonahati Vanderbilt video? Is that what we do next?
You even hinting at it makes me just want to go to the bathroom.